Nigeria is not a democracy. We can mouth it, we can shout it, we can declare it all we want, but the reality is that we're a fascist state. As long as the rights of citizens are not respected, as long as an armed officer of the law can turn his gun on a citizen or somebody who thinks is a citizen whom the state does not consider one without account, we are not a democracy. So let's leave the terminologies and just face the bare bone of it. Now, to go to the issue of violence and the NSAS protest, we need to be truthful with ourselves. If we can't tell ourselves the truth as a people, the reality is that we've become imperiled by our own lives. Who brought violence to the NSAS protest? At every level where violence was visited on the protest, it was the Nigerian state that initiated it. We saw it with our own eyes. Even you, Arise TV, you saw these things. Almost every Nigerian TV station showed miscreants being coordinated in Abuja by SUV driving officers of the DSS or any of that. I don't know, because they are not carrying ID cards, but it was clear that these were security personnel clearly coordinating violent armed hoodlums who were setting themselves against peaceful unarmed protesters, and the police stood by and watched. There are several videos, countless, in Abuja. Let me bring it to Lagos. In Ikeja, a particular miscreant, specifically identified and named as Dagun Osha from Agege, was videoed in broad daylight, brought to Alausa in Lag Boss, carrying machete in broad daylight, chasing unarmed peaceful protesters. In Oshogbo, Mandate and all the other, there are some people who are still in prison in Oshogbo. All they had were placards. The state visited violence on them, and today some of them have been remanded in prison. Let us go to Benin. The confession of the prisoners was that it was the warders themselves who pushed them out and said, leave. And yet they turned around and said, NSAS protesters broke the prison. The reality is that the Nigerian state is particularly comfortable dealing with miscreants, but it hates those who demand the rights of citizenship, because the state is not structured to recognize or respect the right of a citizen. So the Nigerian police, let me give you one instance. In the immediate aftermath of the killings at Lekki, when the looting broke out in Lagos, you see several videos where officers of the Nigerian state, law enforcement officers driving government vehicle, were the ones looting, and they were part of the looting. They can shoot unarmed protesters, but they join the looters, or they are telling them, leave this place, leave this place. So let's be clear. Just as the Nigerian state is always happy to pardon terrorists, mollycoddle them, de-radicalize them,